Welcome to season, the transfer show. It's our first episode of the transfer debate show. Which on this show we've got Ryan Tatham. Good evening, Ryan.
Good evening.
Welcome to the transfer show, the second episode of our transfer show. We do apologise that we haven't done many for over the last week or so, but we're back and we're raring to go. And let's have a look at the daily transfer news. So I'm going to pass you over to Ryan, and Ryan, if you want to take it away.
I think we might as well start with one of the most active clubs in the Premier League at the moment, that is Chelsea, and some of the deals that they are close to. I think there's now total agreement between Thiago Silva and Chelsea for them to become his next club. Some eyebrows raised a little bit of that transfer because of his age, obviously, but I mean, if you look at, he's just played in a Champions League final, so he's still, delivering at a high level. And I mean, I feel it's a good. It's obviously it's not a future. It's not one to sort your future out for the next 10 years, but it's a stopgap because we all know Chelsea's defence needs work to it. Looks like they've strengthened, or they are, strengthening attacking wise and midfield wise. There's not many great defenders out and about at the moment, and I think for Chelsea, they, it's a good stopgap, so it can tide them over to then look at, more longer term options. Then at that point, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think Thiago. So I think it'd be an all right signing. I think they've only. Is it true they've only given him a 1 year deal?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so it's a 1 year deal, and I think it has an option for a second year, which either party can trigger.
Yeah. I think for a season, I don't think it's bad business. I know his age is catching up with him slowly, but I think that if he can go and do a job for the season, which I think he can, then he's still a very good defender. He showed in the Champions League final that he's still got all his reactions. He's still a pretty decent enough defender. Season. I mean, who else are Chelsea going to get really to make the defence a little bit better? Maybe he's an old head to try and get the youngsters.
I think maybe the question mark would be that obviously the pace of the Premier League is a lot different to League One, so it's definitely going to be a change of scenery and a change of pace for him. So can he live with these pacey attackers like that we see in the Premier League, and the not just the players but the style of play for it's back and forth end to end. You see a lot of games, so.
Yeah, I think from the standpoint, from the PSG standpoint, is that predominantly at the time, no one's really attacking their defence because games normally over. But I suppose people are going to get at Chelsea's defence. They are going to get at Thiago Silva. It's whether, like you said, I don't know if he's coming up against people who are very quick. I mean, a young man, Rashford, who's lightning at times, ball goes over the top and he's in a one-on-one sprint, he ain't getting it. So I think if Chelsea are going to play quite high up, then I think that could be an issue. But I think they're going to keep it tight and get back a few yards, then I think Thiago Silva will do okay. I think if they're going to play a high line, I think he'll struggle.
Yeah, I think, and I think Chelsea will know that, and that it is a little bit of a risk. But like you say, not much other options in the market at the moment, and it is a good stopgap signing, whatever way you look at it. So, and there's still, although the defence wasn't great last season, they've still got a lot of defensive options there. So, I think a main point that they need to look at is the goalkeeper. I think more than anything really. But yeah, moving on. I mean, staying with Chelsea. So the exciting midfielder Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen is nearing ever closer to the Premier League and Chelsea. So they're just working on the final details with Bayer Leverkusen to finalise that transfer, and I understand it's going to be 80 million euros plus 20 million euros in add-ons. So in total, we're looking at 100 million euros final fee, which is a hell of a lot of money. But it's in this market, it's the price that you pay for. Someone who's, I think we've all seen when we were all watching Bundesliga, so when after lockdown, and we saw how influential Havertz was for Bayer Leverkusen, and it was only a matter of time that that he was going to move on to a bigger club, if you like. And I'm just surprised that Bayern Munich haven't come sniffing around, but you don't tend to see Bayern make those transfer window smashing transfers. They're a lot more astute with it. I think they'll normally I think they've maybe gone through him if it was edging nearer to his contract running down, and then that they might have been interested. But yeah, Chelsea, if they add him to what their attacking options are already, you've got Pulisic, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech. I think people are forgetting about how good a player he is. But he's they're going to be completely different to what they were last season. So there's it's exciting times for Chelsea, and I think only a couple of they're addressing where they need to address, really. They're getting the players, and they're showing that they mean business. I think out of all the other than Liverpool, Man City, if you look around, then you're looking at where the challenge is coming from at the moment. You'd have to say it's Chelsea are the most likely to break that top two.
Yeah, I think they've bought some really, really good attacking players. I think they looked at it last season. They didn't really score a lot of them. I don't follow Chelsea. They were scoring of goals. And I think to be threatening. I think when Pulisic wasn't playing, they didn't look as dangerous when he wasn't playing. I think bringing in the line Havertz and Ziyech, and also Timo Werner. Timo Werner is a proven goal scorer in Germany. So if he hit the ground straight away, it's bad for the likes of your Tammy Abrahams and your Olivier Giroud, because I think if Werner starts well, then they don't see much football in the Premier League. But yeah, I don't really know a lot about Havertz, so I'm going to be sort of learning while watching him, really, when he eventually comes to the Premier League. But as we've said before, Liverpool back under Brendan Rodgers, we had a fantastic attacking force. We could score loads of goals, but we conceded loads of goals. Yeah. But I think you said they do have to sort the defensive problems out. But Thiago Silva is that person who's going to do that.
Yeah, because we've seen in the past that teams, like I know from an Arsenal point of view, that they've bought all these great attacking players, but then it seems like the defence and the defensive midfielder that can sit in front of them has been neglected, in recent seasons, and that's when you look at the punditry and you look at the stuff that happens in games, then it's glaringly obviously where they need strengthening. And it looks like, moving on to Arsenal, they've made a promising signing, or they are on the verge of announcing promising signing Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille. That Lille connection again, 30 million euros, which I think it's for somebody in this market as well. Anyone who's got a bit of promise about them, you see that the money that's being asked is sometimes quite high, but I think that could turn out to be a bit of a steal, because you had quite a few clubs sniffing around for him. I think Napoli and Arsenal were the main contenders, but then you had Manchester United and PSG, I think, registered an interest, but they don't think it went any further than that. But yeah, as an Arsenal fan, it's exciting, because it's again a bit like William Saliba. I think a lot of people have forgotten that we've signed him as well. That's two young defenders who are very highly rated as hot prospects, and that could, as completely on the other side to what we're talking about with Chelsea's defence, them two centre back, if they work out, and there's no guarantee that they will, but because again, it's going to be an adjustment period for them. So I don't think we're not expecting them to just go in and completely change Arsenal defence, but that's what we want to work towards. And if they turn out how people have built them up, then Arsenal could be set for their defence for up to the next 10 years. And we've not been able to say that.
No, I think it's something that's not been addressed for a long time, and we've on countless occasions, as we know, my sister is an Arsenal fan, and we've spoken to her on countless occasions Arsenal defence, and it's coming to question season after season after season, and they've always looked for more attacking players, and I think now Mikel Arteta, as in playing for the club and been from an outside perspective as well, he knows that the defence isn't good enough. And I think having William Saliba already coming through the door already, and now him, and to be honest with you, there was talk that Napoli has offered astronomical amount of wages for Gabriel.
Yeah.
To still choose Arsenal tells you all about what Arteta's trying to do at the Gunners. And I think good luck to them. And I mean, good luck to Gabriel. I think him and Saliba, they're both quite quick, I've heard. They're both quite tall, young lads.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they need. And I think they'll be looking maybe now a bit similar to Thiago Silva at Chelsea, looking for David Luiz now, an old head. He's a bit erratic at times, is David Luiz, but what you want is for him to bring the two boys together and say, right, let's sort out together. Because Luiz is probably Arsenal's best defender.
Yeah.
I know he makes mistakes, but when he's actually on form.
Yeah. I mean, towards the end of last season, he was on great form. And if you look at how he played against, in the FA Cup games against Man City and Chelsea, it was on great form, and it shows that he can do it. It's just you do get those errors with him. Same with Mustafi. They've both been fairly good under Arteta. One thing I did want to sort of say, I know we've talked about that Arsenal have sort of neglected the defence a little bit, but in a way they haven't. They have spent a lot of money in that department over the last few years, and really it's looked like silly money. I mean, I think they paid 35 million worth for Mustafi. I think it was 18 million for Socrates, something along those lines. So it adds up. Obviously, they got David Luiz on a fairly cheap deal, transfer fee wise. But you're spending this money, and you're not really seeing an investment because you're not really getting any. They don't really have much sell on value. But these two players that they're having now, it seems like they would, not that we would want to get rid of them, but you've got an asset there. So it seems like clever business by Arsenal, and pleased to see it go through.
When you were saying about neglect, we were saying that they spent a lot of money. Yes, they have, but from my standpoint, is they have spent a lot of money on the defence, but it's like they don't work on anything. On the trade. In my opinion, it's like you looked at Unai Emery when he came in. Arsene Wenger, before he left, it looked like the defenders went out for training and they did what they needed. They're doing the same amount of training as everybody else. Not really doing anything. I could be wrong. Not working on anything. It didn't look like it. Unai Emery comes in, tries to then bring a new style in about them playing out from the back, and you can see that they were trying to work on it because they were doing something different, and they were making more and more mistakes, right? But Arteta has sort of come in now, and it's like he's literally ignored the rest of the team and said, right, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to show you, and I want to train just you lot and how you bring the ball out from the back. Because, apart from the odd time under Arteta, they've not really been caught out at the back. Do you know when they're losing the ball from conceding goals? Really done that, and I think they look a bit more strong, they look a bit more together, and I think that's something that he's actually stood and worked on. And I don't think anything else. I think that's where I feel like, they've spent a lot of money, but they've not worked with the defence and trying to. And I think bringing these two young lads in, who, as you say, they are, in the public eye, are really, really good signings. So we'll see how Arteta deals with them. But I think every obstacle that's been chucked at Arteta since he's arrived, he's over it. I mean, Arsenal brought Willian into them on a free transfer. We were talking before that transfer, and you were sort of saying, is it one of them we've got from Chelsea where it might give us a season and then decline for 2 years and just get his money. Do you still have that same frame of mind, or do you think that's a really good business by Arteta? Because I think it's good business from Arsenal. That I really do.
I think he's we don't sign enough of these players who are Premier League proven from other teams, and when you do get one, you know that there's no adjustment period. They know the game. You know, over here, Willian's been a fantastic player for Chelsea. My concern was just the 3-year deal, because you don't. There's been a lot of bad deals at Arsenal and contract wise, and you don't want another expensive player on large wages when they're not really performing. But I mean, positive wise, it does add a lot of stuff that we don't have. Like at times last season, it was there wasn't much creativity, and I think he will bring that. And it was one of the top players in the league in terms of creative statistics. So yeah, I think definitely a good signing, but we'll see how it pans out really. As I say, I didn't want him at the start, but I'll be honest. But I will, he plays for Arsenal now. I'll back him, and hopefully he'll hit the ground running and do well for us.
Yeah, I think he'll do all right. I think he's a very, very talented footballer, and again, it's one of them where his age he's in his 30s now, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, 32.
They wanted to get Aubameyang on a deal, and he's in his 30s. So
yeah, maybe it's a change in because there was a time under Wenger where he wouldn't offer a player over 30 more than a 1-year deal, and that meant that a lot of them. That was probably why what we talked about on previous videos, where that was probably why there was such a big change from the Invincibles team, and just over a couple of seasons that was sort of dismantled, and it was they had a completely new team because of that policy. But I think football's changed a little bit, and you see in a lot of there's examples of players who are above 30 and they're still performing really well. So
yeah,
we'll see how that one goes. I think just staying with Arsenal, just to sort of have a quick word on a couple of players that they are still linked with. So they've been heavily linked, and it sounds like their number one transfer target throughout the whole transfer window has been Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid. Sounds like a bit of a tricky one because Atletico want his €45 million release clause paid all up front, or he isn't going. They're not interested in any swap deals or anything. So it might be one of those where they shock you a bit, like the Pepe one last year when no one really thought they had the money to. And I know they're paying for it in installments, but all transfers are pretty much like that. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like he wants to come to Arsenal, and again, it shows you the pull of the club still, and especially the project that Arteta has. If a player who's currently in a Champions League team wants to, join Arsenal, so I think he would be a vital signing because they've missed that presence in the midfield, just in front of the defence, and I think he would make such a difference to Arsenal. When they lose possession and just making those interceptions and stuff like that. So I think he'd have such a good balance to our team. So he's one that I really want us to go all out to get. So we'll see if that one does come off. But I think even though Arsenal, what I've been happy with Arsenal is that they've not, even though he's been the main transfer target. They've still been working on other deals, so they've got the Willian deal, they've got the Gabriel that's about to be over the line. So it shows that they're not just putting all their resources into one, which sounds like Manchester United have been doing a little bit with Jadon Sancho, and Manchester United fans are becoming a bit frustrated that they're not. It seems a bit. It seems like here we go again for them, because they're a bit like the Bruno Fernandes as well. They seem to be hung up on a transfer for quite a while, and it stops them being able to negotiate for another deal, which seems a bit daft, really, because you think a club like Manchester United would be able to, just that they should be able to do that and handle that, really. So, yeah. What's your thoughts on Thomas Partey then?
I actually like Thomas Partey. I watched him in the Champions League when Liverpool played them in crowd stages. And not only can he defend, he can play as well.
Yeah.
You know what? You look at some. I mean, Arsenal are always linked with William Carvalho going back a long time ago.
Yeah.
He was quite defensive, but wasn't that great on the ball. But I think Thomas Partey can play as well, which will help if he wants to come to Arsenal. I think it could be one of them that runs on and on until right at the death, I think, of the transfer window. I sort of think personally, and this might come back to bite me now, I personally think it won't happen. I just sort of think maybe the other players. I mean, I really don't know. It's depending if Arsenal want to pay 45 million up front.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had that opinion as well. I've always had that. Arsenal fans have talked about it, and sometimes a little bit too confidently that they were going, that they're going to be able to tie it up. And I've never been of that opinion that, we'll definitely get him. It does sound like a difficult one to get over the line, and it's not one that I'm sort of expecting. Yes, let's get him. I'm not counting my chickens or anything like that. I'm just from reliable sources in the media. There's his name is coming up, so it's definitely concrete interest. And it's not, because I know that it's easy to get a transfer store, and there's not really much in it really, but I think there is genuine interest in there and negotiating between the clubs. Another one that Arsenal are linked with or have recently been linked with, but again nothing really concrete with this one, is Houssem Aouar from Lyon, who we've all recently seen in the Champions League, and he's been impressive, especially against Man City. Again, another player who I absolutely love to have at Arsenal, but again, do they have the funds to pull off a transfer like that? I don't think so. But then the other side of it is that they've got a lot of I don't want to say, but dead blood at Arsenal that they could ship off, but players who might do a good job for, I know, another team, so Callum Chambers, for instance, Fulham have always had him on loan, and they've been linked with him again this summer. So there's a lot of options to actually raise funds. Well, Guendouzi wants out. I'm sure he'd command quite a good fee. So yeah.
I think the talk with Houssem Aouar is that is a swap deal with Guendouzi and money. That was the thing that's been quite a lot over the last, since the Champions League game with Man City. I would have thought that it's become more and more. I think Guendouzi's time is done. I know he's been pictured in the Arsenal Freddy Krueger away top, as I keep saying. I just sort of think, I think he'll be gone. I don't think he'll see the start of the season. Maybe, I think if Arsenal do swap him for Aouar, I think that's amazing business by Arsenal, because that boy can play. I watched him when he picks the ball. He doesn't lose the ball. He's so good, He just reminds me of a bit what Coutinho was like for us, where he could pick the ball, he can move from side to side and leave people standing. And I think that's something he has, and he's got a good end product. He's good at his passing as well. So I think if Arsenal, if all the players that they were linked with come off, it's been.
Yeah, I know. It's easy to get bought into that, but it's
exciting last season. Arsenal did bring some good players in last season, but I sort of think maybe the exciting wasn't just for that season. Maybe it was. There's things to come. We're not going to do it all in one window.
Yeah. I think it is encouraging because it shows that they are ready to back Arteta. From the noises that are coming out of the sort of transfer dealings is that they are busy, active in the market and looking to back him, which is good. Another one I just wanted to sort of going back to Chelsea is Ben Chilwell. looks like that's potentially on the verge as well. Chelsea, I think they haven't yet reached an agreement, but it's close to being completed with Leicester, and I think it's very much being led by Frank Lampard. He wants him, and again, like Arsenal, Chelsea, even more so, backing a manager who's only been in a year. It shows that they are, they're ready to. They're putting everything behind Lampard, which is great for them and great for him. But yeah, I think it'll improve Chelsea's defence a bit. But what's your thoughts on that?
I don't like Ben Chilwell. I think he's a good defender. I think he's going. It's where he needs that step up to see actually how good he actually is.
Yeah.
I think, he'd be screwed. I think he'd be looked on more now at Chelsea. I think from a perspective as well, if he wants to be the first choice left back for England, I don't think there's really many. He's not in a massive league of left backs for England that you could say, well, this guy's better than him. He's better than him. He's lucky he's not on the right hand side because there's more.
Yeah.
The right hand side that could take his place for England. But I think going to Chelsea, it gives him the option of he's going to have to perform. He has to perform.
I think he's going to command quite a high fee. I think I've seen something around, was it something more than 50 million? I think I've seen. I don't know if that's right or but
and I think Leicester are right to.
Oh yeah, it's one of those that automatically there's added value on him because he is English, and like it or not, that's what happens. English players who are internationals for England, it adds on about an extra 20% onto the transfer value, whether that's right or not. But we know it happens. So Leicester will be looking to cash in if he wants to leave. They'll be looking to get what they think he's worth and what they're happy with. So
he's still only young as well. He's still learning. The problem I think what Frank could have is that they are spending a lot of money. It's whether it works.
Yeah,
because I think we all know what the Chelsea are like for getting rid of managers, and I think that's the one thing I do feel is if they do spend all this money, it doesn't work.
You're absolutely right there, Doug. Because that's my feelings as well. Lampard was always going to be, given benefit of the doubt this season, and granted they did well, got them into the, top four, and which was their objective, without having a transfer window behind them, and then obviously reached the FA Cup final as well, and got to the knockout stages of the Champions League. But I think now that he's been backed, if he doesn't perform with them, then he's under pressure. And I'm not saying he hasn't performed because he's met the objectives, it seems, that were put before him. So Chelsea will want to see further progression. And I think I'm not sure whether they'll challenge for the title, but I think Chelsea's board would like them to be closer to the top places, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think it's sort of the out of the little mini league between 6th to 3rd.
Yeah,
I think they're always going to be top of probably of that pile between 6th to 3rd. I would have thought. Yeah. But like I said, football's a very, very, very strange. It's a very strange game, and I think they need to start well. Don't know. Have you got the fixtures in front of your teeth for Chelsea's first?
I can get very quickly.
We are doing that. Yeah. So, Chelsea fans, if you want to let us know what you think to all the transfer activity for your club, are they signing the players that you believe are going to help them out in the race for again getting in the top four, but really challenging the likes of Man City and the Champions?
Well, it's an interesting start for Chelsea. So they're away at Brighton for the opener, and then straight away they're at home to Liverpool. So that's a quick early barometer to see where they're at. Probably Liverpool will have the upper hand, I would imagine, because they've, as opposed to Chelsea having quite a lot of new faces in, I imagine Liverpool will have the same nucleus of the team that won the title last season. So will probably be the favourites, you'd imagine. But it's a good early test for Chelsea. Then they've got West Brom away, Crystal Palace at home, Southampton at home. So chances to get a lot of points on the board early. And then Manchester United away, which is another, big early clash as well. So yeah. I mean, I think those home games, especially Palace, Southampton, and you got West Brom, Brighton, you'd expect them to, to win though, definitely.
So, yeah, exciting times for Chelsea. But sorry, go on, mate.
Yeah. So I was just going to ask you from a Liverpool perspective, what's going on there really?
It seems to be quite quiet actually. From a Liverpool standpoint, I think there's a lot of talk of Thiago from Bayern. We brought in Kostas Timiskas from. Can't remember where we got him from now.
From Olympiacos.
Yeah, which he had his first match the other day against Stuttgart in a pre-season friendly. By the looks of things, he did all right. He said he's quite good with the ball. He's got quite a good crosser in the ball. By the looks of things, he's an understudy to Andy Robertson. So I think when he does get his chance, he really has to perform.
Yeah.
You might not see a right lot of him this season. You might see him in cup games maybe, or if Robbo gets injured. But a lot of it's Thiago at the moment. That seems to be the big transfer that Liverpool have shown some sort of interest in. Just for me, I sort of look at it and think, do Liverpool actually have a lot of money? And I would have thought they should get the money from being in the Champions League again. They'll win the Premier League money most probably, which is something we're not used to. I just don't see us doing that much. Actually, because I thought we'd be proactive and I thought we'd be getting players in now. And like I said, it's not a game of FIFA where you can just go out and buy millions of players. There is talk of Ronald Koeman at Barcelona liking Gini Wijnaldum, of course, with him being the Dutch head coach. There's a lot of talk. I think Wijnaldum might be out the door in the summer. I think he's not signed it. At the moment, with a new contract being put forward to him, which I think that's quite sad for Wijnaldum. I think he's been a very good servant since he's been at Liverpool. I think he's really done well. But I've a long time we spoke about Liverpool that we need something creative, and maybe I'm hoping that Thiago we do get him because he's a very good player. He's not staying up. Now, I made the mistake before. Well, Liverpool the only ones interested in my bloody Timo Werner. So I'm not making that again, but I just think there's not many people that are coming in for him, so unless I'm going to get surprised again.
Yeah, I mean, it seems the noises are that it seems like Liverpool are in pole position to get him, and I think they've started negotiations. But I agree with you that I don't think Liverpool have a lot of money. I think the coronavirus crisis has maybe hit their finances a little bit, and people forget that although Liverpool have won the Champions League and they've won the Premier League, they've done it on the back of a self-sustaining model. Really, they've sold for great fees. They've sold Coutinho for a massive fee, which helped them to buy Van Dijk, Keita, Alisson. So they've reinvested the money wisely. They've got 20 million for Solanke, 20 million for Danny Ings. They've done some really, really good business, and it just shows that you can sort of outsmart the market. They've got Andy Robertson for 8 million. So they've not, people, I think then people then think that Liverpool can do that, can spend, but that's not how it works. You've got to, on a self-sustaining model, which Liverpool, look like they are. They've got to be clever in the market, and they have been. But at the moment, it looks like I don't look like they really want to sell anybody. I mean, why would you when you've just won the league? So, I think maybe they've got the money for one or two, big transfers, but I think it'll be fairly quiet. But if they do get Thiago, then that would be a massive upgrade in their midfield, and something that I think they're missing really.
Well, we sold Lovren, didn't we? Again, we sold Lovren. I wasn't wasn't Lovren's biggest fan, but I was surprised that they actually sold him. I didn't actually think they would. And he went. I don't actually know what he went for now, but like I said, go on, mate. Sorry.
He went to Zenit St. Petersburg.
He did. I was wondering what he went for. He just won.
Sorry, yeah.
He were gone. My thing is, I agree with you. I think if we are going to do something, it'll be maybe one transfer, and I think no one's going to replace the front three. I think Origi looks like he's one of them players that maybe happy to sit on the bench and come on and be a bit part player. If that's what he wants to do, then that's great, because it's always nice to have one of the players that will do that. But defence, no one's going to walk in to that defence and take Andy Robertson's, Trent's, Gomez, or Van Dijk's place. No one's going to walk in and take Alisson's place. You're looking more at your midfield. Is again for another 6 weeks. I've heard now of another injury, which is deflating for him, because I think he had a good season last season when he was in, and I think that's the frustration with Ox. And being an Arsenal fan, where he goes on such good runs, and you think, right, let's keep going.
Nail your place down, and
it's getting back fit again, and which is annoying. So we do need. I would feel sorry for Gini Wijnaldum, I really would, because I think you're not going to sell Henderson. No one's going to take Fabinho's place. So it's always that little one between him and Keita. But Keita, at the end, after lockdown, were fabulous when he came back after lockdown.
He was signed for big money as well. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet.
On an earlier podcast that we did, I said that Keita, it's a massive season for Naby Keita this season, because if he doesn't perform, he'll be out of the door. He will be out.
Yeah, I think this will be his third year now, I think.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah. Which they say, don't they, with foreign players, it usually takes them a couple of years to get get into grip. So he needs to do it now. And the shit as well, he's another one. We got him for really good business as well. But even he got the team, and he will be in a lot of the Premier League's first 11, and he can't even get into Liverpool's first team. But I think it's one to watch with Liverpool. I really do. I think Wijnaldum's one to watch with Barca, and I think Thiago is to bring in. I think they two things that if they're going to happen, they'd be the two things that happen at Liverpool this season.
So just a quick note on Manchester United then. I think a lot of their fans are getting a bit restless now because they've not seen, we've got the season just around the corner. You've also got the worry of the quarantine situation, where if you bring in players in from abroad, you're not going to be able to have them in training. So, if that's 14 days that you're missing, and then, the season will be upon you by then. When Ole Solskjaer goes back into training, he's going to see the same faces at the moment. I think he's taken that side as far as he can at the last season. I don't think Man United can get any higher than third with what they've got. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they scraped into third on the last day. Full marks, and they deserved in the end to be in the top. I think they had a very good before lockdown happened. They were on a good little spell, and then I think the thick after lockdown, apart from the two semi-finals in the cups, what's left really. But apart from that, I think they've had a really, really, probably they've been the best team in lockdown, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jadon Sancho, I spoke on a previous transfer show and I spoke on the Man United show with Dan about him, and it worries me because we said on the Man United show that Dan thought it was very much done, and I thought it was very much done. I thought it was just dotting the I's, crossing the T's, really.
Yeah.
And it's no further, and it scares.
And now, The issue is now that Dortmund have now taken the stance, and their chairman, and I know he's done it before with players, and then like I did with Ousmane Dembele to Barcelona when they said they're not going to sell him, and then they got a whopping offer. It might take something like that to prize Jadon Sancho from Dortmund, but it seems like the noises that are coming out of them is that they're not ready to negotiate any longer. That he's staying with Dortmund, but I think Man United will come back for him, and that one might drag on till the end of the window, which is not great for Man United. And the quick turnaround for next season. I've not really heard. It sounds like they are maybe after a defender. I know they did make an inquiry for Gabriel, but didn't really go any further than that. So I'm not really sure who else they've been linked to be honest.
Well, we were saying that if United wasn't going to, if the pursuit of Sancho was to fail, that they were looking at bringing Douglas Costa in, weren't they? I think he was the one that is like, if something happens with Sancho, that they're going to go for him, really.
Yeah.
I just think, like we said a minute ago, where I think Ollie and everybody at United have just solely gone, right, we're looking straight at Sancho.
Yeah.
We've sort of put to the side and said we're looking solely at Sancho. And if it doesn't happen and it doesn't work, he doesn't come.
But don't you think that's poor transfer strategy from Man United? That because surely a club that size should have people in the right places negotiating different deals along, and it might be that, I mean, we don't really know how it works, but how it sounds and the noises that are coming out is that there's nothing that's really far along, and this is the same what Manchester United fans are saying. They know more about it than me, but the only one that you've really heard them sort of in actual in negotiations was Jadon Sancho, and that seems to have stalled at the moment. So not sure what they're looking at. Just a quick roundup then on other transfers that might happen. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is linked with Wolves. I think Wolves are quite close to getting that one over the line. For me, I would prefer to have seen him stay at Arsenal because I think he had a really good end to the season. I think predominantly it's being driven by he wants to play centrally and Arsenal can't offer him that. So if that's what he wants to do, and if that's the position that he feels that he wants to play in, then fair play to him, and I think he'll do well at Wolves.
Yeah, I think, and it's a 20 million. 20 million is again, and we've always complained about Arsenal with their transfers where they don't get value for money. I think £20 million hang on for Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Yeah.
I think it's good business by Arsenal to get rid of him. We were talking about funds for bringing other players in. That's if that's what they're going to do, is they're going to get players
They've got options in that manner,
to other people, then great. I don't. That's the only transfer that's going to be going out of Arsenal in this window. I think there'll be more. But I think it's a good deal for Wolves. I think it's a good deal for Wolves.
Yeah. And other than that, anything else you want to add, Dougie?
Yeah, it's just a couple of quick fire ones, really. So we looked at a lot of the mail. So Real Betis in talks to sign Brighton left back Montoya. I don't really think it's worked out for him. I think he was quite highly rated by Barcelona when he was there. I think it's not really worked out for him at Brighton. Aaron Ramsdale has gone for £18.5 million to Bournemouth.
Gone from Bournemouth.
From Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Sorry about that. West Ham are looking to offload Jack Wilshere again. It's been another disappointing.
Again, injuries. They just can't shake them off.
He seems to. It's gone down the pan for poor Jack. Leeds United are again offered for for the Brighton.
Ben White.
Yeah, and they've turned around and said, it don't matter what you're going to give us, we're not selling him. So I think that's quite disappointing for Leeds United. I heard the chief executive a couple of weeks ago say they still had more in the pipeline. I think.
Yeah.
What do you think about Leeds United? Do you think they definitely need to strengthen before the start of the season?
I think at the I said and I think in the heart of hearts Leeds fans would agree that Bamford struggled at times in the Championship in terms of a goal scoring from a goal scoring point of view. Like I think Bielsa likes him for what he brings to the team and what he adds when he plays, but in the Premier League you need goals, especially when you've just come up. Will he be able to cut it and get the goals that they need? In the Premier League, so I feel that they need some additions in because it is a massive step up from the Championship to the Premier League. No matter how well you've played the season before, and if you've won it at a canter in the end, but I think it sounds like they're looking at a centre back. I think they've got some other options, but it's a shame about Ben White because I think how I sort of seen it, it seems like he would want to be at Leeds, but then on the other hand, he's not put a transfer request in to sort of chance Brighton's hand. Brighton are now saying that they don't want to strengthen who they potentially see as a rival, which you can understand from that point of view. But it's will he be getting minutes at Brighton? Because I think Brighton have got some good centre half options already, haven't they? But I think
Lewis Dunk will leave, didn't they? There's a lot of talk. That centre back partnership has been quite successful with Brighton. What is it?
It was Duffy. Duffy, is it?
But they've been quite double D, and they've been quite good together. And I think that partnership is slowly breaking up. So maybe that's why they're saying, right, we want to keep Ben White, go straight into the team. So what they're going to do then, I don't blame Brighton for that. But if they're just going to put,
I think they have signed another centre back though. I can't remember who it is, but they've signed somebody. I think Leeds have also been. I think they've put an offer in that was rejected by Rangers for Ryan Kent. I think it was 8.5 million.
So I said it that he's part of their plans, and he ain't going to get rid of Ryan Kent. I think he's got more problems with Alfredo Morelos at the moment than Ryan Kent.
But I think with Rangers, the every player has a price is what I get from what Gerrard says. So I think a lot of the time he's posturing because he's going to try and get as much money in for the club that he can. But I think if Leeds can pay more than that or are willing to pay more, then I think they'll get the man if they want to get him from Rangers. I think it's a different scenario than that with Ben White.
Yeah. And lastly, and it's not much of a transfer news, but Lionel Messi, a lot of talk in Spanish papers that they're unsure whether Messi will stay at Barcelona. I think he'll stay. I don't think he'll leave. But all not rosy in that camp at the moment at Barcelona.
It doesn't seem it, but that was always going to come out when they lose in the manner that they did. The press were always going to go with that story. I don't think Messi will leave. I think he's integral to Barcelona, and I think he's highly paid. He's going to have to. His family are settled there. I just can't see it happening, to be honest.
One bit of transfer news for Barcelona that Man City have said if they want Angelino, it's going to cost them 27 million to bring to the club. So that is good luck on Barcelona.
And Barcelona don't sound like they've got much money either.
No.
I think it sounds like they've put Luis Suarez up for sale, so they're happy to sort of get rid of him if need be. So we'll have to see if any movement with that one as well.
Like I say, you've got Coutinho as well, still a Barcelona player. He probably won't be there next season. I don't know how.
That might be a way to bring money in for them. Yeah.
I understand how you can't get into that team.
No.
I really do.
Maybe he's just not the right player for them in terms of the style of play, potentially. But yeah.
Well, maybe not. But yeah, that's it from me. T, anything else on you before we wrap up?
No, none of us that I can think of.
Still waiting on the Aubameyang confirmation of his signing.
Yeah,
It seems
I
to be
think
going.
I think that's pretty much done. But again, we're just waiting on the announcement for that one. So I think we'll see that in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully before the season starts, so we don't, it's put to bed then.
Come on, Aubameyang signed the thing, as I keep hearing. as I keep hearing. But yeah, as I said, guys, this is the first episode of me and T together for the transfer debate show. I'll be back in midweek with a transfer show just to see what else is going on in the world, and we'll be back for one of these if anything else happens. We'll also try and do a Community Shield preview show, as it is Liverpool against Arsenal at Wembley on Saturday evening at 5:00. So, what quick thought on that, Taven? Community Shield on Saturday?
It just seems like it's too soon for it to be a representative game, if that makes sense, to see where both sides are, because I think all the players will have been on holiday. Arsenal obviously had the FA Cup, so they were playing longer than Liverpool. And I think we'll see. I don't think we'll see full strength sides. I think we'll see potentially, players that you wouldn't normally see starting in the Community Shield. So you don't know what the fitness is going to be like. I think that they've only returned to training, or I don't know if they have already. Have they? Maybe today was it? I don't know, but
I know back a couple of weeks because of the first game at the weekend.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I think Liverpool will be a little bit ahead in terms of fitness, but yeah, just again, it's that curtain raiser in it, so it just sets the tone. Then
yes, one of us being of a trophy, what it? Mourinho.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, guys. We'll be back again with another transfer show during the week, and from you can as always you can tweet us at SeasonsPL. Let us know what you think of the show today, and whether you support, let us know about your transfers, and me and T will be back next time. So thank you for your time, T. It's been a good show.
Thank you.
All right, from all of us, guys, take care. Ta-ra for now. Goodbye.